Good morning, my Teaserking family. If at first you don't succeed, try again. This is the fifth time I'm trying this. I wasn't getting any audio, which I can see I am getting. I can see little bubbles, and if they're all white, we don't have any audio now. I can see there's one or two empties, so that's a good sign. I've added chat money and advertising. I apologize, but wanted to do this as opposed to working at the stupid jobs. This would be better, and I can focus on this, and then obviously football, baseball, and pro basketball. We got the NFL draft coming up, so we'll still have plenty of sports to talk about. But right now, we need to focus on economics. Your Fort Knox, what's happening with the Titanic, and all the gold. Egon did a show yesterday. We will talk about him. Mark McGuire, or Alligator's on this morning on As Good as Gold Australia with the two bald guys with the toupees who look like idiots. I was starting to watch it, but there was one point, like at one point, he does mention there's no gold in Fort Knox, which is what I say. And I don't know what Trump's going to do, how he's going to audit no gold. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So we will see what he does. As I show you, gold ended yesterday at 29. Gold ended yesterday 29.36 basically, and 32.50 silver. Now we know silver is a joke. So what do we really take away from this? They're trying to keep the price down of silver. Why? Because it comes with the dollar, and they think that people are this stupid. It's like ribs competes with steak. Well, we can make our own determination there. So if you have that silver is competing with the U.S. dollar, that's just ridiculous. If people wanted it, they would. But here in the U.S., they make a lot of money, and in their money, they put in 401ks, as we know. That's their retirement, and gold is not an option there. So I don't know why Alligator and Egon are so surprised that 1% of the U.S. is in gold, because the way you work, you get the 401k and the company matches it. Of course, you're not going to put it into gold because they don't put it into gold. So you're sitting and going, well, the company matches 5%. Okay, I'll get into a 401k and I'll be in the stocks, which is all bullshit. It's all fake. It's just the Ponzi scheme. It's to keep you in the stock market. Okay, we get that. That's where we're at. So that's what we're seeing. We see a lot of that. So I don't know why they're so surprised. They don't understand how it works. So therefore they just think, oh, the U.S. doesn't buy gold. We buy plenty of gold. Our whole class buys gold. But you don't know when I buy gold. And I don't know what you're looking at to see how my portfolio is. It's basically 98% gold. The other 2% is in the baseball cards, football cards. So I don't really get that. I don't get their point. We understand about gold, and we go gold, but you're not going to see it anywhere. Where would you see it? Where are you seeing my allocation of my portfolio? Interesting stories today. So I got Telegram. I don't use it much, and I got somebody on there. She wants me to be friends. She said, I'm an investment consultant. So when I get done laughing, are you interested in our stock investment? I go, what stock investment? What are you talking about? Because I know all about the Ponzi schemes. What type of economics do you use? She doesn't answer it. I'm an investment consultant. Well, I didn't ask for you. What the fuck are you bothering me for? Are you a U.S. stock investor? Please tell me the names of one or two stocks you have traded. That's none of your business. I think we can be friends. I don't think so. I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're a gal or a guy. You say your name is, do you even tell me your name? Good morning. I'm an investment consultant. So I still haven't gotten her name. Share your current investments and exchange ideas with each other. Eve J. Noble will also tell you the latest. Who the fuck is EJ Noble? In hot stocks, helping you control market risk and make this. I don't even understand what they're talking about. Actually, we can be friends. I keep saying, are you Keynesians? Life is only a few decades long. Wouldn't it be nice to have one more friend? Are you a friend? I don't even know your name. I've never met you. Why do you think you're my friend? You're just a salesman trying to sell it. I need to know more about people before I give up my time. How should I let you know? Well, tell me who you are. I don't even know your name. Life is only a few decades long. Wouldn't it be nice to? Well, this is the problem, right? Let's get stoic for a minute here. This is exactly the problem. Who's this Eve Noble who's going to give me the latest stock market analysis and hot stocks? As if I'm interested in the stock market. You don't even know if I'm interested. Why are you bothering me? I don't know who you are. Her name's Emmy Mills with the 315 number. Who the fuck is that? I don't know who. See, but this is the problem, right? Is she stoic? She's already getting me into, we can exchange ideas. You want to exchange ideas? Come here and you'll exchange ideas. Making my investments smoother. I'm not going to tell her about gold. I don't know who she is. I don't know who this. Are you just a salesman for this Eve Noble? So again, this is what you have. Um, this is what your problem is right here. So why do I want to see being stoic? You don't just give up information, right? You keep it quiet. Ron Weiss, I've added the money thing so people can give me tips or buy stuff from me or whatever. Again, I really am just trying to make some extra income while I'm not working so I can buy more gold and silver, basically. Daria's, I asked Daria's got a tooth or something or a filling, she said here. And it says, are you sure you're going to the doctor? And maybe you need to go to the dentist. Maybe it's a wisdom tooth or something. I mean, how did a tooth get into your cheek unless it came up? And she said, I think it's when I had dental work done and it got in there. And I go, yeah, but the dentist probably can help you. She said, no, I need to go to the doctor and get a CAT scan and get an operation. And I'm thinking, no, I would probably go to the doctor because there's no way you can get a tooth here unless it came up. Well, then the dentist can pull it out. That's what I would do. That's probably why it got infected and abscessed was the tooth probably went in, hit a nerve. That's why she says, I feel something there. And now they're seeing it as a tooth. But I would go to the dentist first and then the doctor. And she's scared about surgery. Well, I don't know. I would assume it's just a little laser out like they would do for other things. Now, I don't think they scalp it and everything. At least I hope not. So she's got to get now a CAT scan on Monday. I don't know why. And then I don't know when the opera has been going on for three weeks now or so. And she's tired of it. And I'm tired of just go to the dentist, get it out now that we know what it is. Obviously it came in, so they must have done it and it must have went up. And then it got caught in the cheek. I don't know. But anyway, I hope she's okay. But again, you've got to stay stoic. So somebody wants to be your friend. Well, who are you? Are you working for George Soros? I mean, this is the problem that you have with people. I'm just wondering everything's working okay because now I've added the money and I don't see anybody there. So I'm hoping somebody's there. Um, or give me a like or just give me a comment so I just know everything's working. Um, so that's where we're at. We're at be careful. We can be friends, and my friend's going to help you with stocks. That's red flags all over the place. What are you selling me? I've asked, are you a Keynesian? I haven't gotten an answer. I know the answer. Yes, of course. Um, I don't buy stocks. Am I a robot? Give me 2 stocks you know about. Fuck you. I'm not giving you any personal information. So this is being stoic, right? You don't know who this is. Why would you give valuable information out? You don't. You only give valuable information out to people you know, who you can trust, and then it's even a little bit of information, right? What did I have for dinner or something like that? So this is what you're trying to do. Um, so I'm not giving her any information until I know who it is and what do you want from me? You want to be friends? You don't even know me. What do you mean you want to be friends? Uh, so I gotta be very careful there. Um, so anyway, gold finished 29.35 yesterday. We'll come back tomorrow night. We've got a lot of buying going on. People wanting physical gold, not paper. And so that's what the shift's been. Before it was all paper derivatives by JP Morgan and the London Bank and little Goldman Sachs, and they get in and they just trade paper and make money. A nice Ponzi scheme. But it was never meant to have physical in it or anybody taking delivery. And when they changed it in 2023 to Basel III and Tier 1 means gold's like money. Well, it always was. I don't know why they had to change it. But then it's the delivery. Basel III means you've got to deliver it. And as we learned yesterday, listening to Mark McGuire, the delivery date's July 1st. So if they don't deliver by July 1st, they're gone. Well, they don't have the gold to deliver. Where are they going to find it? And there's no gold out there to find. The gold I get and you get at the store is when people sell it because they need food or rent. So they need to pay for things. So they take their gold, bring it to the store, and that's what he's selling me. He's selling me that to somebody who brought the gold in. Hey, Prophet, good morning. I'm glad. Okay, so I changed a little bit. Now I'm doing advertising. I apologize. And you can give me money. So we'll see how that works. Just trying to make some more income on this, see how it goes. So anyway, a lot in Fort Knox, so then we go to Fort Knox, they don't have any gold. Maybe they were going to use the gold in Fort Knox to pay off these derivatives. That's what they got from London, all that gold, that 400 tons. First of all, they had to move it to 100 ounce from 400 ounce. That's why it went to Switzerland. That's why the delay. And then it had to go to the next thing. They had to go to, they had to get off of, they have to pay these derivatives because of Basel III. Then it's only in gold, not yet in silver. That's why silver isn't moving yet. But it will go to silver, and that's when silver goes to 500 an ounce. So keep that in mind. I know a lot of people have. It's easy to get. Like Luke has like 6 boxes of the I think there's 500 ounces in a box. So he's got a lot of silver, and when it goes to 500 an ounce, he'll be a rich boy. But until then, he's like, what the hell? I got it's at $30, $31, $32 an ounce. Why isn't it at 300, 500 by now? And that's where it should be, at least 500. And so that's what's happening with the gold. So they're going to Fort Knox because they want to know, is there gold in Fort Knox? Because we need it to pay the derivatives off, not to go on a gold standard. And that's the point. And there isn't any. And if there is any, it's not ours, it's China's. If they put brass and painted gold in there, that's also misleading. So are we going to really get the truth? I don't think Trump actually does an audit once he finds out there's no gold in there. if they try to scam everybody by putting brass, painting it gold, or showing China's gold in there, that could be what they do. But so I don't think they'll ever really do an audit because there's nothing to audit. Yeah, I don't have anything. So I think that's what's going on with Fort Knox. How the hell can you audit and show nothing? Nothing good comes out of that. The money's already worthless. So what are you going to do about it? I think China and Russia know they have no gold, so they're getting ready to gold back their currency. That should happen very soon. China is going broke, as I showed you that video of China rushed to buy gold, yuan devalues quickly. I showed you that video yesterday and a couple of days ago. And so their money's worthless. So what do? They come out with gold-backed currency. Russia, there's inflation, Daria tells me. What are they going to do? Gold-backed currency. All of BRICS, to trade in BRICS, gold-backed currency. They're not trading in BRICS. Nobody wants India Riambi. Nobody wants rubles. Nobody wants Brazil or maybe Saudi dollar. I don't know, UAD, all these little African countries. Nobody wants their currency. It's worthless. Nobody wants the yuan. So with all this problems, but they do want gold. And I think that's why these countries are joining. Cuba just joined. And that's why they want to join, is because they want the gold. They want to trust the trades they're doing. Nobody wants the U.S. dollar. Trump just doesn't get what he's talking about. We're the strongest country in the world. No, our currency is worthless. This is the point that they don't seem to find, to understand, or they just don't tell you. This is worthless. So why would I want to trade for this? Why would I want to sell an ounce of gold, or in your case, Prophet, why would I want to sell a bar of gold for this? Why would I want this crap? It's not worth anything. So I'm giving an asset for this. And now, Prophet, the other thing is the 103,000 is this, which is monopoly money. So it's really hard to get a figure of the value of the bars, because you're valuing it in inflated monopoly money, and that's the problem. So that's why you don't want to sell too many of them. If you need the monopoly money to move or to buy a car or to move to the U.S. or get married, then that makes sense. Then you would do that. Prophet. Well, we have to sell it. Internet connections are very bad right now. And usually when this happens, I lose everybody. Yeah, am I back now? Let me know if I'm back. I mean, this is really frustrating today because this keeps happening. Am I back? Oh, okay, good. Okay, thanks, Prophet. Because I don't know on my end, because on my end, I can see myself, but thanks. I appreciate that. All right, because it says your internet connection's slow or lost, and then it comes back. Okay, good. Thank you. So yes, why 5 ounces? I would be careful buying a house now because it's about to collapse, just like buying stocks now. But you need to buy what you need to buy. Well, yeah, it was an internet problem. And it tells me internet warning, and now it looks like normal. So thank you anyway. Because sometimes this happened 20 minutes ago and I lost it. It was a 46-second video. So that's why you see 3 or 4 videos that I did this morning trying to get live, and I couldn't do it. And then finally, I just turned off my computer, came back on, and now it seems to be okay. 5 bars. Why 5 bars? So that's 500 grand. What will you do with the money? Buy a house, you said? uh, how long can you wait? Can you wait till July 1st? Because the value will go up. Um, I mean, that's my suggestion. We know gold's going up and you're getting the dollar. But if you're using it to buy a house and you need a house right away, then yeah, I understand. And that's what you should do. Um, I think I would, if you can wait till July 1st, I would wait. Like I said, then you'll only have to sell 3 bars because that'll be 500 grand. So, but if you need to buy the house, you need to buy a house. Buy a house and not need a mortgage. I don't know. You might want a mortgage um, because of the inflation. So, in other words, if I lent you $20,000, you'd want to pay me back in 10 years because the money you're going to pay me back is so heavily inflated, it's worth nothing. So, the longer you delay in paying me back and they're printing the money to zero, you're giving me money. So if I give you 20 grand today and you give me 20 grand next year, let's say you wait a year, give me 20 grand back. The value of the 20 grand you're giving me back is maybe 10 grand. So I gave you 20, you gave me back 10. So it might not be bad to get a mortgage because of the inflation. You still have the gold, so I wouldn't worry about paying it. I do understand you want to buy the house and not have a mortgage. But in this situation, it's exactly what you want because of the inflation, the value of the dollar, and it'll probably go out anyway. And you still have the gold. I just don't know if I wouldn't sell 5 bars now. Wait till July 1st. The price of gold's going up, so you're going to cost yourself some money by doing that. And you can just maybe you sell 1 bar now. You get the 100 grand and then you put it down for a mortgage if you should be able to. And then the other 4 bars, you might only need to sell 2 of them and then that will pay the mortgage off. So understand the dollar is being inflated and worth less the longer you hold it. That's why I tell you not to sell the bars, because the dollars you'll get won't be worth anything in the future. So in 2 months, this goes to a half a cent. It's constantly losing value because they got to print it for the defense and Social Security and Medicare and the government workers and the interest on the debt. And as they print it, it weakens and weakens and weakens. When they find no gold in Fort Knox, it'll be gone. Nobody will want it. That's the only thing, is they think we have 8,000 tons in Fort Knox. Therefore, they think the gold is worth something, or they think the money's backed by gold, even because they know the money's worthless, but they figure, well, we got gold, we can always use that. Although I don't see the correlation. The fact you have gold and the fact you've got useless money. We don't have that much money to cover the gold. We don't have 8,000 tons. It's not ours. If it is, it's China's. But so I don't really know. But if they showed, I would wait till the audit, and if you can, wait till July 1st. And we're going into March soon. So March, April, May, June. So it's a 5-month wait if you can wait it. If you can't wait it, I would sell 1 bar, put that down as a down payment on the house. And then in July, maybe you sell 2 bars and pay off the house, if that's your thought process. But the dollar's going out. It has no value. So understand that concept. Buy a house, not need a mortgage. I get it. Yes, after July 1st. Yes, that makes perfect sense. What are the mortgage rates now? I don't know. Let's take a look. So we see gold ended up nice, 29.36. I would expect this to be 3,000, but I think 3,000 is the magic number. I think when it hits 3, it goes to 3,500. It's headed to 5,000, and by then it'll be headed to 10,000, because as the panic sets in of we realize the Titanic is sinking, then everybody runs into gold and goes up to 10 grand. All right, let's see. Mortgage rates. Where is my Google? USA mortgage rates. As of February 21st, the average mortgage rate in the U.S. was 6.5% for a 30-year fixed mortgage. So 6.5%. And it'll go up much higher from there. And that's probably if you have 700 credit and depending on the amount. 583 for a 15-year mortgage. So I understand you don't want a mortgage. However, you do want to take advantage of the inflation and paying them back with garbage money. So if somebody gives me 100,000 and I get 30 years to pay them back, I'm going to be giving them back $20,000 of real money. So that's kind of how I look at it. So what else? 6.5 is high. I don't know if it is high. I think it's been around 7. Again, that's in the US. So if you're going to go to Miami or California, it's going to be different. But that's California is much higher taxes. You don't want to live there. Florida, there is no state tax, or Nevada, there's no state tax. And I believe even Texas. So you probably want to live in one of those 3 states and not have the tax. And again, you won't pay tax on your gold. You will pay tax when you sell the bar because it's such a big amount, right? It's 100,000 in one bar, but that would be it, the 10. But you're not paying like when it goes from 2935 to 3500. There's no tax when the values of the bar go up. I thought it was around 2 or 3%. That's been about 4 or 5 years ago. I got my Camry in 2018, and the interest rates were about 1 or 2%. But no, I mean, because if you look, the Fed raised interest rates to 5%, and the mortgage went with it. So yeah. That's why the Fed wants to lower rates to move the economy, because they're all Keynesians and they think that's what moves the economy. But they can't. The rates, because of the inflation, you can't lower rates. You have to raise rates. And even then doesn't matter because prices don't value inflation. So no, but I get what you're saying. Wait till July 1st. Yes, it'll be much higher. Do some research where you want to live. I would go to where you want to live. I went and took a job in Alabama and I hated it. I hated the city. I thought it was stupid. I don't like Alabama people or the state. So make sure it's someplace that you go vacation in and see the restaurants, see the lifestyle. Is this where I want to go? I go to Europe a lot, and Barcelona was nice. Portugal, I thought, wasn't nice because they didn't speak a lot of English. I mean, it was okay, but we just went to Lisbon. We didn't go to where the sea is. Amsterdam, I enjoyed. Vienna, I enjoyed. Zurich, I think, is a little bit not really a vacation place. It's more of a business place. Like I feel comfortable banking there, but living there was a little bit weird. Ukraine, I actually liked Odessa. I thought that was I could definitely live there, but now who knows? I've been to Russia before. I wouldn't want to live there unless I was with Daria and she could then keep me out of trouble. Then I would do that. But there's certain states I would live in Vegas. I don't know. Never been to Texas, Florida. Um, I don't know. Years ago, I was in Boca in Miami, and then I went to Orlando to go to Disney World. I don't know. You could judge that. California, I went to LA. I wouldn't want to live there. Too much traffic. It depends what you like and don't like, and that's what the key is. Florida would be my first choice right now. Yeah, I know you said that. There's the Tampa, Orlando area, and you go down the coast, and then you get to the Gulf Coast, and then there's nice places, and then you go to Miami and Boca and Hollywood. I don't know if you like that or not. So, there's different areas. All I'm saying is if you've never been there, you got to get comfortable. If you have been there, then it's fine. Then you know where you want to be. It's like dating a girl. I mean, you see her and you like her, but then you have to understand are you comfortable with each other? Do you like her? Yeah, she's pretty, but when you start talking to her, do you like her? Maybe she's a bitch and you don't like her. So that's what I'm saying. So you go there, you get comfortable. Yeah, I could live here. I mean, pretty much like Amsterdam, I could live there easily, or Vegas, but it has my football betting, my poker. The women are nice. The environment's nice. It's my kind of place. Although I prefer like the Stardust signs lighting up. I like the colors, so I like that a lot. Tampa is a good real estate market in the 500K range. Well, you could live near Bobby. Bobby lives in Tampa. Bobby Bow. Brady used to live there. Derek Jeter used to live there. So you could be neighbors with Bobby. I think Ric Flair is there. So you can definitely do that. But sure, I mean, Bobby was looking for a house to rent out. I told him not to because the market was about to crash. So really what you're trying to do, you might want to rent a place, let the crash happen, and then buy cheap. That's what Warren Buffett's doing. He's got all his money and he's waiting for everything to crash, and then he's going to walk in. What he doesn't understand is his money is worthless. And that's what you're going to understand is when you sell your gold, is the dollar worth anything? So you're really being smart by holding it now. That's what I'm doing. I would never sell an ounce of my gold for $3,000. No way. You put I want at least probably 10. But again, when the dollar goes to zero, I don't want this. So I'm actually waiting for the new dollar to come out. And it better come out backed by gold. Because if it doesn't, and it's more monopoly money, I don't really want to give up my gold for that unless I must, for something serious. Now Daria needs an operation on the tooth that got stuck in her cheek and whatever. Okay, that would be a reason. Okay, I better sell an ounce of gold or use my money to help her. Hopefully it's not that expensive. It's Russia. I think there's socialized medicine there. I don't think it'll be too expensive. But that's what we'll need to find out. But that's the only reason I would sell gold is if I needed the money, not to sell it to get money and hold it. So I wouldn't sell a bar for 100 grand and just hold it. That's the point. I'm getting out of that. I've taken 100 grand and bought the gold and silver. So that's the last thing I want to do is get into worthless money. And that's what in Canada, it's even worse. Your dollar's worth nothing. Our dollar's not worth anything. Your dollar's worth 3/4 of our dollar. So you got to be careful there. Tampa, yes, should be nice. I assume you've been there, so that would be good. It should be a good place. My friend moved down to Orlando, and he works for the DoD, the Department of Defense, and he's been there for years. So I assume he likes it if he's been there. So that's basically what's going on there. Like I said, I might when the shit finally hits the fan, I don't know if I'll stay in the U.S. We'll have to see what Trump does. If Trump, he's now rumoring to get rid of the IRS. Okay, fine, I could stay. He fixes the army, he fixes the laws, he fixes the taxes, he fixes the money. I would stay because with Biden, it was all lost. It was the country was gone. But now with Trump fixing it, but it's only for 4 years, and then who comes in? George Soros again comes in, then we're fucked. So we got to be very careful to get rid of George Soros. Why? He's a U.S. citizen in Hungary, where he's from and born, doesn't want him. That's a big problem. So Fort Knox, I say Fort Knox is zero. There is no gold in Fort Knox, so don't even think there is. I was watching Alligator, and he made the same thing. He's on As Good as Gold, and he said that there is no gold in Fort Knox. And Egon says the same thing. So I got an Egon show that I watched yesterday. It was a good show. We'll watch that. A little stoic. So we'll watch that. But basically, if you think there's gold in Fort Knox, here's the point. You asked me, do I have a Joe Montana rookie card? And I go, here it is. Right? Here it is. It's not graded, which I tell you, but it looks like a 10. It's pretty fucking centered. And it's very clear. Sharp corners, good pitcher, good card. Really crisp, brand new, almost from the pack. So you ask me, and I show you. I prove it to you. I'm telling you the truth. Here it is. Yes, I got a Tom Brady rookie card. Here it is. And yes, it's a refractor. And I show you all this. I'm proving my point. Yes, it's a refractor. It's Brady. It's his rookie card, Bowman Chrome. So I show you all that because I prove it to you because you asked. Somebody asked me if I had a master's to prove it, and I have a diploma on the wall with distinction, and I showed it to him. Yes, I have a master's with distinction in finance. My master's was corporate finance, but I took 4 economic classes, so I also say I have a master's in economics. I don't know what else I would have taken. I took 3 Austrian economic classes, and then I wrote a thesis on the stock market and the trade cycle. So I don't know what else I need to do to say I got a master's in that too. So yeah, I back it up. But if somebody asks you for something and you don't show them, you don't have it, because why would you not show? So if we go to Fort Knox and say, do you have any gold? And you say, we want to do an audit and see your gold. And you say, no, that's because you don't have it. Because if you had it, how hard is it to open it up and with the army there, and some reporter with 15 machine guns pointed at him says, here's the gold. Here it is. Okay, see, we got 8,000 tons there. So why wouldn't you do that? Because if by not doing it, it shows that you don't have any. And that's what I'm going with. They don't have any, or they would have showed it. So that's why Rand Paul and Elon Musk and Trump now want to go there to see. But they can't expose zero, because in a global economy, this has no value right now. But if we can't prove we have any, then this value goes to zero. So if we don't have any, which we don't, it'll show zero. If they try to fool us by saying, here it is, and it's brass, painted gold, we won't believe them anyway. And if they show us gold, but it's China's, they have to prove it's not China's gold sitting in Fort Knox, because we've already leased it to China, and you'll never get it back on the lease. So anyway you look at it, if there is gold, it's not ours, and probably it's brass color. It's brass painted gold at best. There is no gold. Otherwise, why would we get? Okay, so we have 8,000 tons, but we just got 400 tons from London to cover derivatives that we're short on. Why wouldn't we just pull the gold out of your Fort Knox? Why would we need 400 tons from London when we got 8,000 tons in Fort Knox? Does that make sense to anybody? That's like saying, well, I could pay off my car, but I'm going to take off a loan. Well, if you have the money, just use the money. Why would you take a loan out? And that's basically what my thought process is. I thought Bruce Willis got all the gold in Die Hard 3. No, that was actually whatchamacallit, the German guy. So he does the movie in whatchamacallit. I can picture, or what's his name? So in Margin Call, he sells it all. He dumps all the paper because the music stopped. And then in Die Hard 3, he gets Jeremy Irons. So Jeremy Irons got all the gold, but it wasn't 8,000 tons. He got everybody else's gold that was stored in the New York Fed, Saudi Arabia and Syria and all these guys. That's the gold he stole, and I don't know how much he got. Very stupid ending in the movie. As smart as he was and as well planned as he was, to go on the whatchamacallit, the waterway, he's going to give him an aspirin that says north of the border, and then he's going to stop he gets north of the border, and they're going to stop. And then Bruce Willis really can't touch him because he's not Canadian. So that whole ending was ridiculous. That's the problem with a lot of these movies. I thought the Die Hard 1 movie ending was terrible. For as smart as Hans Gruber was, he didn't have a plan to get out. He planned to blow the roof, and then they're taking it, and then the safe guy goes into a van and gets caught by the limo driver. Are you serious? This is the ending you're coming up with after all the how smart Hans Gruber was, earning 20% on a beach with the dancer guy, and you're gonna just get stopped by a limo driver running into your van. Really, this is the best ending you could come up with. I mean, I find the endings and most things are just so stupid. That's why I like Money Heist so much. They stole the gold. They got away with it. It was a beautiful plan at the end saying, if you kill us, we're going to expose that we got brass in your vault. And the guy he couldn't do anything. He said, I can't kill you because if it gets exposed, we're wiped out. So he had leverage on them. Why wouldn't Hans Gruber and Jeremy Iron have leverage on them so they couldn't do it? And then why didn't they just kill Bruce Willis? Why was it so difficult to kill the guy? You had 1,000 soldiers just shoot, whatever you want to do. I mean, that's where I lose that. That's why Money Heist was so good, because Money Heist was so realistic. And these Die Hard movies, and a lot of these movies are just so unrealistic and such stupid plot points after how smart they are, how they get caught, just makes no sense. Let's see, Prophet. I thought he was flying the gold back to Germany. I don't know. Could he fly all that gold back to Germany? You probably needed a boat. You would probably ship it back, not fly it back. Because if you needed 12 dump trucks, you're not getting that on a plane, 12 dump trucks worth of gold on a plane. You're getting it on a boat, but not on a plane. And I don't know if it was going to Germany. You don't know. It might have went to Switzerland and got melted down and turned into whatever, but I don't know. That was never explained. But you would have thought he would have had a better ending plan than that, and giving him aspirin for north of the border. That's ridiculous. So that was really stupid ending. Bad writing, I thought. Good plot. Stealing the gold was good, but I thought a lot of what Bruce Willis, did was just plain bullshit. I mean, it was really stupid. But that's Jeremy Irons was really good in that, except for the end, just like Hans Gruber. And the funny part about Hans, he never played that character again, which was incredibly stupid of the guy Alan Rickman. You had such a good brand with with Hans Gruber, and then you go do Snape, and then you go do. I saw him in Love Actually. It was like, where's your goatee? Where's your cleverness? He never showed that again, and I thought that was actors don't understand their brands, right? I understand I'm a brand, right? I'm a professor. I do football. I do economics. That's my brand, right? And you don't want to see me in a different brand. You want to see me branded like this. And that's the problem I have with most of these actors and actresses. They don't get their brands. And if people like Hans Gruber, why wouldn't you do more of those characters? Because everybody likes him. So that's what it's just economics, right? There's the supply and demand. The demand for Hans Gruber's here, and yet you're doing these things. You're doing Love Actually. Like, what, really? You did Galaxy Quest. Okay, it was all right there, but he should have been the mastermind in Galaxy Quest. He should have played Hans Gruber in Galaxy Quest. So these actors make huge mistakes. Then you get like a Tom Cruise and a Keanu Reeves who kind of play the same character. The one thing I noticed, speaking because we talk Stoic a lot, watching, what was I watching? I'm watching 24, as I said. So I just completed day 4, and I'm now on day 5, watching Joe Biden in the White House kill everybody. And the thing I noticed with a lot of characters were they were stoic. Jack was stoic, and Tony was stoic. Curtis was stoic. Chloe is very stoic. That's why we like them. They are stoic. They're very tough. They don't get rattled. They don't get all emotional. And that's what I'm noticing. Keanu Reeves is very stoic. He's very strong in that. Clint Eastwood was very stoic. So I think you see, like, why 24 was so good is most of the actors were stoic. And I think we enjoy stoic people. I scare a lot of people at work because I'm stoic, because I won't even, half the people, if I don't know them, I don't even say hi to them. I just kind of walk very stoically, very Marcus Aurelius, and just go get a coffee. And I don't know who you are. Go fuck off. I don't have time to talk to you. I don't know who you are. And a lot of people can't take that. They didn't quite understand me, but that's what stoic is, right? So anyway, so let's show a stoic video, and then we'll get to Egon.
If you want to become a high-value person, you need to stop saying these 6 words. They don't belong in your vocabulary. 1. I'm too busy. High-value people don't make excuses. They prioritize what matters. 2. I can't afford it. They focus on solutions, not limitations. They make money work for them. 3. It's not my fault. Blaming others is for the weak. High-value people take responsibility for everything. 4. I'm just not good enough. Self-doubt. Not in their vocabulary. They know they're capable and constantly improve. 5. I don't have time. Time isn't the issue. It's about how they use it. They master their schedule, not the other way around. 6. I'll start tomorrow. Procrastination is the enemy. They take action now, not later. And subscribe to the Stoic Verse for more wisdom.
See, that's what stoic is. Very strong individuals. They don't make excuses. They don't blame other people. It was his fault. It was her fault. They're very strong at let me do it, and I do it now. I'm pretty much like that. I'm a little bit waiting on taxes. Trump says he wants to get away with the IRS, do away with it. So I'm waiting on my taxes, because if he gets rid of the IRS, you don't owe taxes anymore. And if you don't owe taxes, then why do a tax return unless you're getting a refund? I think what they do now is if you do like single and one or single and two, I think they take out way too many taxes. That's why everybody gets a refund. I do single and three, and normally they take out a shitload of taxes. So if I didn't have like other things, I would have gotten a refund last year. But they're taking out a lot of taxes out of us. So it'd be good to get rid of the IRS. The best thing would be to get rid of the Federal Reserve. All right, let's go to Egon with some gold. So it's yesterday. It's his normal monthly thing with the German guy.
What you're about to see is almost unbelievable. If you don't believe me, I'll certainly understand. But the man you're about...
Okay, I will interrupt with my comments.
Anybody in any country who has the ability to shift part of the pension fund to physical gold, not paper gold, must do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, the time flies. I welcome there Egon von Greyerz in front of.
So I want to speak to Prophet on this one. He's saying move your pension fund to gold. How many times do I tell you to get out of the 401k and move it to gold? And he just said it. And that's what the conversation with Prophet is with the gold bars. Don't get out of the gold to get into dollars. Keep the gold. Now, yes, to buy the house, fine. You know, that's perfectly fine. But basically, you want to get into gold, not out of gold. And that's why I'm not selling. So my point is, everything in dollars, stocks, the bank, real estate trust, get out of and into gold, because gold is about to go to the moon and silver will follow. That's because gold can't be printed, as I showed you that with Mark McGuire yesterday, which I almost fell off my chair. He finally said it, which is what I've been saying. So I got a feeling these guys are watching my video, but they won't comment and they don't give me credit for it, which, as I say, I'm stoic, so not a problem. Glad I'm helping them. It would be nice to get credit, but I don't do it for the credit. See, that's my point. I don't do this to get credit. I do this to teach. That's the big difference. All right.
A new background. Egon, great to see you. Golden times. We have much to discuss today, and the main topic is Fort Knox.
Yeah, no, very interesting. Yeah, Jan, as always, is to talk to you. And this is what you see behind me is a work of art that we have in our office in Zurich.
Fits to the business model. Egon, before we come to Elon Musk, Fort Knox, and a possible crime story, I start with 3 interesting headlines from the past days. This is number 1. South Korea's mint has temporarily suspended sales of gold bars, adding to signs of widespread tightness across the market for physical precious metals.
Now, Pat told us that already. So with Pat lives in Singapore. So he's already told us South Korea and China. And I told you China's going and they're waiting 6 hours in line in China to buy gold jewelry. I wish they'd buy gold coins, but whatever. At least they're buying some gold. So that's what we have. But don't just ignore this. We're running out of gold. There's only 200,000 tons of gold on the earth. And I would say 199,000 is gone. And the only thing we can get our hands on is when people sell it because they need the money. So for me, I'm buying an ounce here, an ounce there, an ounce there. Prophet's getting lucky to get bars, but if he wanted to, he couldn't find them. Or you'd go on eBay and buy a bar for 103,000, but you're not finding it at the store. You're not going to my guy's store and finding a 100-ounce or 1 kilo gold bar. You can find a silver bar I've seen last week. So that's really what you're looking at. And again, Prophet, I would just, depending on your finance, I would probably sell 1 bar for the 103,000 and then spend 30 here and 40 there, whatever you need to spend. and have 10 or 20 grand on you, and that's probably fine. But I wouldn't sell too many bars, because you don't want to have too much money. You don't want to be in fiat. Now, if you're going to get it and spend it, then that's fine. But if you're going to get it and just put it in the bank, you don't want to do that. That's not good. All right. Part 2.
The Korea Minting and Security Printing Corp said it's facing problems with sourcing supply and managing demand, etc. China pushes insurance companies into precious metals. As Bloomberg reports, 10 insurance firms, including PICC and China Life Insurance Co., 2 of China's biggest, will be able to invest as much as 1% of their assets into bullion in a program that became effective last Friday. That would
So what does that tell you? A, they know the dollar's going out. B, there's more demand for gold. And if they're doing it, other insurance companies will do it. And they will get out of ETFs and into physical gold. But there's only so much physical gold. And this is where we really make a lot of money. It's the Super Bowl tickets. There's 70,000 seats in New Orleans. And so they printed 70,000 tickets. But there was a lot more demand than 70,000. And then it gets to the secondary market, and then it's 5,000 for the ticket, because now it's secondary. Now I've already paid $1,500 or so for the ticket. So now I'm not giving it up for less than $3,000. And then the demand goes, free market goes to 4,500. And that's what you got with gold. You have far more than 200,000 tons of demand for the gold. Where are you going to get it? Well, the price has to go up. You can't print it, and you can't dig it out of the ground. So the demand then goes to the price, and the price goes up, because now if I have it, if I paid $3,000 for it, I'm not letting it go for less than $5,000. And it'd probably be a lot more than that. So that's really what you have, is that. So anyway, that's a good sign for gold to go up, is now you're getting insurance companies and annuity and other things getting gold, which then creates the demand. But what does it tell you? They all know the dollar is crap, and they know the yuan's crap, and all the fiat they know is crap. So you better get into gold. That's really what they're telling you, but it's hidden in there.
into a potential of 27.4 billion US of funds. And last but not least, big banks bleeding gold bars. Chinese banks are running out of gold, while Russia's commercial and sovereign reserves are rapidly being depleted as 2 BRICS nations face sky-high domestic demand as prices set new records. But I have to add one note to this Kitco article. Those are, of course, not the official Russian state reserves. I think that is one error that carries through all those articles. If you look at the official reserves, they are still high and not sinking. They must mean the commercial banks in Russia that sell a lot of gold right now, because that is not reported widely. There is a high inflation in Russia, and China is facing literally an economic breakdown. So Egon, I think finally we are there, that more and more people all over the world are realizing the seriousness of the crisis and moving slowly into gold.
Yes, yeah, Jan, also.
So keep in mind, this is not a U.S. thing, right? So when we value gold at $29.35, Comex, so somehow the U.S. is valuing gold for the world, which they don't like. That's why there's a Russian exchange and a Chinese exchange and a Dubai exchange, because they're saying, fuck, we don't want, why are you valuing the gold? You don't even have any. We've got it. So that's one of the changes. But the other thing is, this is worldwide. China and Russia and India and Saudi Arabia and Dubai, they all need and want gold. They all realize the dollar's worthless. Does Trump have a brand? I don't know. I don't trust his finance guy because he's a George Soros guy. So you got to be very careful with that. Maybe that's how Trump got elected, was to take the George Soros guy and let him run the Treasury. Big mistake. I would never have brought in a George Soros guy. No chance. But with that said, you've got to realize this is worldwide. So it's worldwide demand. And yet, wait till the rest of the world, Japan, France, Italy, Germany, the UK, start realizing that the euro and the British pound and the Swiss franc are worthless, and they all then jump into gold. So the BRICS countries have figured it out. Give them credit. The U.S. hasn't, although Costco sells them out pretty quick. And then wait till these countries. There's not enough gold. So they're going to need it, and then that's going to spike up the price even higher. And that's why silver sitting at 32 is a joke, because when gold gets too high, because of the secondary, they're selling to the secondary market now. We've run out of Super Bowl tickets. People still want it. They raise the price. I'll give you $5,000 for your ticket, and you go, sure. I paid $1,500 for it. And so that's what's going to happen with gold. But gold's going to reach a price of 15, 20,000. The average guy can't afford an ounce of gold for 15, 20,000. He's going to turn his attention to silver. And we can get silver at $32, maybe $35 with the premium an ounce. Buy. Now, when I went to the store, I showed you a 10-ounce bar last week. He did not have a lot of coins. He had some different. He had Maple Leafs, 1 ounce, and a little bit of Eagles, but his the bullion that are not real money, but they are an ounce of silver, he didn't have a lot of those. And then he started having these bars. So I bought a 10-ounce bar from him. So he had a little bit more of those. He had 100-ounce bars, like I told you. So now you've got that going. So very soon silver will go through the roof. And that's when Comex is gone, because they won't be able to hold silver. Because if everybody's going to gold and the price is going to shoot way up, you've got to then realize, if I can't afford it, I'm going to silver. That's the only other game in town. It's the only other lifeboat. And now you're in silver, and the demand for silver, boom, and the price has to go with it, because nobody's giving away their. I'm not selling silver at $32 an ounce. I'm not selling it at $100 an ounce. Maybe at $500 an ounce, but I'm holding off till $1,000 an ounce, unless I have to. Some at $500. And Prophet, I don't know if you have any silver. You might even sell one of your bars for a bunch of silver. That would not be a bad thing. If you don't own any silver, but you're probably better with your bars in gold. But if you did want some silver, if you sold the one bar, maybe you buy $40,000-$50,000 worth of silver, because you have to look at it as a return on investment. You buy silver at $32, let's say $35 an ounce right now, it's going to go to at least $1,000. What's your return on a $35? That's not worth $1,000. So that's why you might be prompted to buy some silver. Gold is at roughly, let's call it 3,000, on its way to 10. So you're going to go up 3 times, where silver you're going to go up 50 times. So that's the point of buying the silver. But I wouldn't sell too much gold for it. But I would get a little bit of silver, because the return on investment is so huge. That's really what you want to do. All right, back to you.
Life, things are a process rather than a single event. As you know, we've been helping people for 5 years now to preserve wealth through physical gold held outside the banking system. And I've said for many, many years, we haven't started yet. We built up a big business.
It's starting now.
A lot of investors in 90 countries in the world, major investors, and I don't think we've started yet. The move is starting now. Obviously, we know that, sadly, the market is always a price-following mechanism, and not anticipating moves. We have recommended gold since $300. That's where we started, beginning of 2000. But of course, still, nobody owns gold. You have to understand that the average holding in the world, total investment in gold is only 0.5% of world financial assets. But right now we are obviously seeing shifts taking place, because there are shortages developing in certain places, certain countries, and obviously the futures market is the biggest culprit here by having masses of futures contracts outstanding, 100 times the goal they have, at least, probably much more. So now we're seeing this rush to deliver physical gold from London to New York, to the Comex. And we're seeing certain banks, as you're mentioning, in the world having temporary shortages. Of course, there will be shortages. Remember that 3,000 tons roughly of new gold is mined every year. And that, during the last, you just take the last 25 years in this century, has been absorbed easily by the market. And now you're seeing an increasing demand. And as I kept on saying, that demand cannot be met by physical gold at today's prices. The only way to meet that demand is by higher prices. So gold is now.
So I don't know if Prophet asked me that question or somebody else. They said, what if we find more gold? Is that going to hurt the price? Well, there you go. There's 3,000 tons. It's getting absorbed in, and the demand's higher. So as long as the demand can absorb new gold, which I don't know, there's always a little bit of new gold found, but this is 3,000 tons that they get absorbed. So I don't know how much more it is. I know China had found a new mine, but it won't leave China, and it'll get absorbed as they're waiting in 6 hours to buy that. There's demand for it. So I don't see that a problem, but that's what you're looking at is there, it's basically supply demand. Is there enough demand to handle the supply? And in gold, there's way more demand than supply, which makes for higher prices. And you can't print the gold or counterfeit it because you can see it. You can go to a store. You can say, is this real? Better yet, you go to the store where they've got all the equipment and buy from them, and it's real. They're testing it. When I go to my guy, I don't ever question, is it real? I mean, I probably did the first time. And then I see when other people come in, he's checking it out, going, yep, this is real. So I don't worry that the gold I'm buying, but I'm buying Cougar Ants and Maple Leafs and Eagles and Philharmonics that obviously is real because this is coming from the central bank or whoever, the treasury, they're the ones printing it. So it says 99. Well, just because it says 999 doesn't mean it is. But generally, you can look at it and you can see when it's very bright and gold. You know what gold looks like. You can pretty much tell. There is some that Cougar Ants that have a little pinkish hue to it that is this gold, but you realize that they do put that pink material in it on purpose to make it stronger. But as long as there's 1 ounce of gold in it, and it is, then it's okay. It's pink. It's whatever mineral they're putting in that gives off this pink hue. But it doesn't mean, as long as there is 1 ounce of gold in it at 999, then we're fine. Or even 911, which is 22 karat. As long as that's in there, that's the 1 ounce. Like I said, this is 1 ounce, but it's not 1 ounce of gold. It's only 18 carats of gold. It's 3/4 of an ounce of gold, 1/4 ounce of the other materials. So understand that. But in the Cougar Ant, it's 1 ounce of gold with these other materials. That's why it's probably the only one that doesn't have that sharp gold look like a maple leaf, just beautiful, or the eagle. The buffalo reason people buy it is because it's 999. It's 24 karat, and the eagle's 22 karat. Doesn't matter. It's an ounce of gold. And that's why we don't buy the Proof, and that's why we don't buy the MS70s. We do in the baseball cards and football cards to prove it's real, but you don't need to prove you've got 1 ounce of gold. That's all you need. So that's why we don't need 999 gold. We're fine with the 911 because it is 1 ounce of gold. It's 22 karat, but you're fine with it. And if you look on eBay, you can see the price for the Eagle is higher than the price for the Philharmonic, even though the Philharmonic's $999 or the Maple Leaf's $999, the Eagle's going for more. So as long as that's what's happening in the market, you're fine with it. Now, again, that's eBay and probably a little bit more US based than if we're in Switzerland trying to sell it. is it really going to matter? I don't know. But Swiss doesn't have their own gold. It's surprising. You don't find a Swiss ounce. You see Austrian, and you see some Chinese. Russia has some, and then it's like I said, the Philharmonic and the Britain has some and stuff like that. All right, back to Egon.
$1,900, and people want to buy gold. They're not going to get much gold for that, so they have to pay up. And this is why the price, as I said, will not just go up by percentages, but by multiples. And that's the move we're going to see now, because there are shortages everywhere in the world. The Swiss refiners that are the biggest in the world are still finding or getting gold deliveries, because they obviously get it from the mines, and they always get part of that 3,000 tons mined every year. But out in the market, which is as sick as the whole of the financial system, where there is so much paper gold created, that great paper gold demand, when people are not getting word and asking for delivery, that cannot be met, and that's going to cause panic in this gold market in the coming months and years, and you're seeing the beginning of it now.
Yes, and there is an interesting development in the USA, Egon. We know they are now at an annualized rate of over $1 billion in interest payments, and the new Secretary of Treasury said something amazing. We are going to monetize the asset side of the US balance sheet for the American people, Bessent said last Monday, the new Secretary of Treasury, when Trump signed an executive order calling for the creation of a sovereign wealth fund. We are going to put the assets to work, and I think it's going to be very exciting. The Treasury Department did not respond on a request for comment, but the definition of monetization means changing something into money, or at least expressing the asset in terms of a currency. We know, Egon, the USA officially has 8,000 something tons of gold, 261 million ounces, I think. And if you revalue this to the current gold price, you have 750 billion US dollars roughly. I calculated that it's around 9 months of interest payments, so that would be a total waste. But if you revalue it to 150K per ounce, then you could pay the complete US state debt, but on the back of what? I think a complete global financial meltdown, if it's intended. What do you think? Is this something they might have in mind, or a stupid idea?
What the Like, how are they allowed to do it when other Americans can't? Sunny Santa Monica.
What do you think? Is this something they might have in mind, or a stupid idea?
You know what, Jan? If they have the gold already, the 8,000 tons, which I doubt, and many other people doubt, because we haven't seen a proper physical audit of the US gold since Eisenhower's days in 1953. But if they have the gold, let's assume that, and to be generous with them, I don't think they do, but if they have it, so this now revaluing the gold to market value, that doesn't make America richer. It's just bookkeeping. That's all it is. They shift one post in the accounts to another post, and then they call it they've made money. They haven't made money. It's the same thing, and they're just creating more debt and blowing up the balance sheet more with this. So in reality, I don't see it as anything important. And I would say, first, if they're going to revalue their gold, shows your hand. Shows your hand, the U.S. Treasury. Shows your hand. Shows the gold.
Exactly. So we are on the same page. This second. Sorry. Show me the money. The other part I want to comment on real quickly is, what assets do we have to monetize? We don't have any assets. It all goes to our expenses, right? It's going to the military. 1 second. So he's saying we want to put our assets to work. What assets do we have? We don't have money lying around. We are in debt, right? We can't balance our budget. So what mysterious money do we have to invest? What assets do we have to use to monetary? Okay, so what are you saying? We're going to use our gold and monetarize it? Because it's sitting on the balance sheet and we're not using it? So you're in debt and you have assets you're not using? Okay. So that's really what doesn't make any sense, is you want to monetize our balance sheet. The only thing on it you can use is gold, maybe land. We have a bunch of land for farming or whatever, state parks. I don't know if oil is on our balance sheet or not. So it may be some of that, but why aren't we using it? So we think that's what you have. Don't have any silver right now, but we could trade in 1 gold bar to buy silver. Yeah, well, something like that. If you have some income, I would just buy, 20 ounces here and 20 ounces is only $600. So if you're working and you get a normal paycheck and you get some money left over, I would buy silver. I don't know that I would trade in $100,000 bar and go buy $100,000 worth of silver. You could, but maybe what you do is you trade it in and you got $100,000 bar and you maybe buy $20,000 worth of gold and $30,000 or $40,000 worth of silver or something like that. Or maybe you buy $40,000 worth of silver and then the rest you buy gold ounces with. Or you leave some in money for whatever. Silver 1 ounce coins are still very cheap. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you would want if you have just extra cash, I wouldn't want to sell my gold to buy silver. I've talked about that before here. I would rather just use my paychecks or extra money I get in, even if it's 10 ounces. Now I have 700 ounces, so I don't need to get too much silver. I still buy some. I'm still buying gold, but if you're working and you're getting income in, then you really want to buy the gold. But if you do get some silver, so like I said, if you sold 1 bar and you didn't need it, right? You just sell the bar, you get $100,000. You would probably maybe want buy 20,000 of 1 ounce gold, and then maybe 50,000 of silver or 40,000 of silver. And then you're just waiting. And then when silver skyrockets, you'll make a better return on the silver because you're buying it so cheap. So yeah, you can get 1 ounce. I wouldn't even get I'd get the bullion. That's not even a coin. It's a coin, but it's not like minted. It's worth $1. These are bullion. They sell for about $5 cheaper. In our game, we're buying silver. We don't need the 1 ounce because it's worth $1. You're never going to use the silver at face value. You're only going to use it at bullion to do that. Like I said, I can go to my barbecue place, give them the bullion, give them 1 ounce and pay for dinner for $30, $35. He'll take that. So, but I don't want to sell it at 35. knowing it's going to be 1,000, or at least 500. So that's the thing. But yeah, definitely, if you don't have just a couple $100, a couple times a month to buy 10, 20 ounces of silver, then absolutely you might want to sell. But I wouldn't buy $100,000 worth of silver. I would buy maybe 20, 30,000, and then the rest of it, keep 20 grand in the bank, and then the rest buy your gold ounces back. And then you'd be all set. Then if you don't need to sell the whole bar, you can sell a few ounces, because it'll be 10,000 an ounce. So the bar times 3. So the bar will be worth 330. So you're gonna make a fortune on the bars just holding them. At least even till July 1st, you'll make a lot. But after that, you'll make it, because you could see the demand is high, getting higher, because of the other countries going broke. Every country's going broke. Every country's in the Titanic and it's sinking. Every country, except for Zimbabwe. And now BRICS is like building a new boat. They're building a gold boat. That's what BRICS is doing. So they've figured it out. All right, back to Egon.
In Fort Knox. And remember, central banks, when they lend gold to other banks or to the system, the LBMA system, then as normally often just a bookkeeping position, most of the time they keep the gold in the central bank. But they have lent it out. It's not theirs anymore. It belongs to whoever bought it. An LBMA bank, a bullion bank, for example, that buys the gold and then sends it to Switzerland to break it down into kilo bars, and then sends it on to China or to Russia or India. It's mainly to China and India, of course. In my view, the gold, there could be gold in Fort Knox and in the Fed, but that gold might have been lent to the market or leased. And when they lend it to the market, they still call it their gold, their physical gold, but it isn't. It's all it is an IOU. And that IOU, if somebody then claims the gold, which is happening now, parties around the world are demanding delivery of the paper gold. And this is what the world cannot cope with, as I said before. But there's so much more paper gold issued than there is physical gold. So this squeeze is going to continue, Jan. And that is what's going to trigger gold going up by multiples. On top of that, remember that the BRICS countries are trading in real gold, and they actually buy gold, they hold gold. But both China and Russia, that are declaring a couple of thousand tons each as their official gold holdings, probably hold more than 10 times that in reality. And that is not declared by them officially. They keep it a secret. That a lot of people like myself are quite certain that they actually have a lot more gold. Whilst the US probably doesn't have the gold they say they have. So again, I repeat, show us your hand, US Treasury. Show us actually the physical gold you have, and that is actually yours without any claim on it by any other party. Well, when we see that, we can talk about an actual bookkeeping revaluation of the gold that has any effect. But still, as I said, it's only bookkeeping. They're not becoming any richer.
Our audience, Egon, if you want to see the ratio between paper and real gold, just go to US debt clock, and there you find it, also paper to silver ratio. You gave me the keyword already, Fort Knox, and Elon Musk recently wrote something that might cause some nervousness because he wants to have a look to the gold bunkers in Fort Knox. Here we see it, and it's gone. And what is he writing here? I sure hope it's still there. So this is already causing suspicion. That would be interesting. We all know the famous James Bond movie, Goldfinger. There you saw gold bars. If they were real, who knows? But what we know about Fort Knox is we see all the time old pictures from the 50s maybe from the early 70s, but that's it. Nobody has been there for a full audit. And of course, Rand Paul, his son, they want to kick off now a movement to have a firm audit. Tech billionaire Elon Musk has his sights set on an audit on the US gold reserves at Fort Knox through the Department of Government Efficiency after it was revealed there is no yearly review for the world-renowned stash. Senator Rand Paul, who invited Musk to review the gold reserves on X over the weekend, joined Fox and Friends to discuss a need for greater transparency about the massive reserve after trying to verify it himself for a decade. So for sure wants to have a look at Fort Knox. And as I just said, Egon, there was no firm audit since the early 50s. I think they will already know if it's there or it's not there. But if they publish officially what they find, and maybe they find it's less than officially announced, then we might see chaos. And this might even be a reason for shifting so much gold to New York right now. Who knows? You cannot rule out anything. I think this is also supporting the gold price.
Yes, definitely.
Well, the gold going to New York is for the derivatives. It's got nothing to do with anything else. You have to, if the people are wanting the gold physical on Comex, you have to deliver it. So that's what the gold going to New York is. It's simply paying the people who are asking for delivery. And these people are China, Russia, India, Saudi Arabia, Dubai. They want their physical. And that's what this is. This is about taking the gold and paying off the derivatives that you owe. Silver, you owe 25,000 tons, 32,000 ounces a ton. That's what you owe in derivatives on silver. Where you're gonna find that, I have no idea, because I doubt it even exists, that there's that much silver out there available, because a lot of people have silver and we're hoarding it. So how much? There's only maybe 500,000 tons. Maybe, I don't know. That's a guess. I know there's 200,000 tons of gold, but maybe let's say 500,000 tons of silver, which you can't replace. Once it wears out, it's gone. It's not like gold where it's indestructible. And so the Roman gold you can't get back. I can get a Julius Caesar gold. I can't get a Julius Caesar silver. And that's the problem. So once that's gone, it's gone. So there's even less silver than that. But let's say 500,000. There's already gone. I mean, between the military needing it for Tomahawk missiles, for the solar panels, that's already solar panel. These electric batteries that won't work. So nothing there. There's not a lot of silver. So if you owe 25,000 tons, where are you going to get it from? Which again is going to spike the price to the moon. So high demand with low supply creates high prices. You can price fix it with paper all you want. At the end of the day, the price fixing gets blown up, and the demand for the physical has to get repaid. And then it becomes a Super Bowl ticket again, where you got to go into the marketplace and buy physical. Profit. Silver worn out coins is still, yes. Silver at 32.50 an ounce right now is dirt cheap. Well, of course it is. Once the price of gold shoots through the roof, people will jump on silver. Well, it's once people can't afford gold. Now we don't know what that price is. We know gold demands here, and we know the price is 29. So what this price is, we don't know. Is it 5,000? Is it 10,000? Is it 20,000? But there's demand for gold. The key with gold is, and this is what I do, I don't care what the price is. So the price jumped to 2,800. Now it's 2,900. I don't care. I got to get out of the dollar. So I buy gold because I have to get out of the dollar. And there's no other lifeboat. That's the key to it. You've got to get out of your dollar. So in Europe, you're going to get out of your euro and the British pound and the Swiss franc and the yen and the yuan. You've got to get out of it. And the only place to go is gold. You don't care what the gold price is. I need 20 ounces of gold, and I don't, if I had to pay 3,000 an ounce, 4,000 an ounce, it doesn't matter. So we don't know what this is, but we know what this is. And now once this price goes to, let's call this 10,000, how much more gold can you afford? And when you can't afford it anymore, you then run the silver at this ridiculously low price of $32.50, which is really $35. You're going to pay a $2 premium. So call it 35. But as you can't afford the gold anymore and you've got to get out of the dollar, that's the key. The dollar's worthless. So as you're getting out of the dollar, you're going into gold. Well, shit, that's 10,000 an ounce. I'll be buying 1/10 of an ounce or maybe a quarter ouncer, which is why I buy so many of those, because they're cheap right now. I can buy a 1/10 of an ouncer for $300. Thank you. Or a quarter ouncer I just paid $800 for. Thank you, because I know where it's going. And at 10 grand, it'd be worth 2,500. Then I paid $800 for. I gave Alyssa one it was $350 when I first met her. It was like, here, but don't spend it. And now she goes, how much is it worth? I go, it's worth 8.25 now. And it's going to be worth 2,000. And she can't believe it. And I says, well, I gave it to you because I was hoping you would start collecting them. But I know I can't tell you to collect it, but I can hope that you do or advise you to. And so I gave her that. So it keeps going up. So she's happy with that, but it's not in the big picture. It's only $800. But that's what you have. You don't know what this price for gold is, but it's high. And when this goes up, people won't be able to afford it because prices go up. But the only substitute you have is silver. Not titanium and platinum and all that are not money. And you want to be in money. Otherwise, you're gonna go into here. All of a sudden, this for 100,000 is going to be cheap when gold's going to be so expensive. So the difference is this has already run up. Like silver's at 32.50. This has already gone to 100. So therefore, you've got to be very careful about that. So maybe you buy this card because it's Barry Sanders, but it's the 99 count, and maybe it's $1,000. I don't even know if it's that much. So that's why you get into this, because it's cheaper. It's still a good card, but it's cheaper than the Montana Rookie. So as gold gets so high, you go into silver because it's cheaper, but it serves the same purpose. It's real money, and you have to get out of the dollar because you realize it's worthless. And that's where the light has to come on, that you realize it's worthless. And that's where most people are. I'm in a 401k. It's worth 500 grand. Yeah, well, good for you. It's worthless. Are the other precious metals worth buying? Well, gold and silver are precious metals, are money. And I think copper too. But I would stick with gold and silver. Platinum, palladium, I don't know if they're precious metals. I don't know if they're worth buying. I would buy gold ahead of either of those because we know gold's money. But platinum and palladium really aren't money. They're just needed in cars, I guess, or whatever they're needed in. It's more industrial. Nobody's buying them as money. So I would just stick with gold and silver, especially silver. It's so cheap. Why buy platinum at 11? What was it? $1,000 an ounce when you could get silver for 32, which is going to explode. So I would just stick with gold and silver. I haven't gotten into anything else. I haven't gotten into copper. Copper has gone up, I think, but it's priced differently. It's priced like per ton. So it's not like, I think it's 400, but it's not $400 an ounce. It's per ton. So I would just stick with gold and silver, and I wouldn't fuck around. Everybody, it's the gold standard. It's not the titanium standard or the platinum standard. All right, let's hear Alligator.
There are shortages, as we said, and they are, and more will be revealed if there is an audit. I think they will refuse a full physical audit of all their vaults, because I think that they know that they don't have the amount of gold they have. I said might have, as I said before, they might have physically, but it's been lent out, and it's actually not their gold. and no one's going to believe any revaluation of gold decided by the U.S. Based on paper gold, which it is at this point until it has been audited. But so you have that factor which is going to drive the gold price, but then you also have the constant demand of gold that's taking place now, which is a real demand, not a bookkeeping event, and that's what's going to continue to drive the gold price up. And as we have discussed many times, the important factor is that when the U.S. froze their Russian assets, and every central bank in the world has decided that we are not going to let the U.S. control our reserves, dollar reserves, by being able to confiscate them. So they all want their gold stored under their own control. And as I said before, the public has not awoken yet to what's happening. And that's why, it's an absolutely minuscule amount of world financial assets in gold. If we go from 0.5% where we are now to 1% or 1.5%, there's not going to be any gold at the current price. To make that increase, the gold has to be revalued substantially by the market. I'm talking about market, not a bookkeeping revaluation. That means nothing. And whatever the US does, the market will override that, because the BRICS countries don't give a damn about what the US does with its gold and how it values it. The market will determine the price of gold, and especially since the paper market. I've been saying for 20 years at least that paper market will blow up one day. It is not real, and it cannot meet its commitments by delivering gold against the contracts outstanding. And that will create a squeeze that will, as I said, shoot the gold price up to heights that no one can understand at this point. That's going to happen. It's not going to be overnight. It's going to be a gradual process, but we're seeing these shortages emerging already now, and that's just the beginning.
Yes, and I also always say to my audience, you have to have gold and silver now, although it might be overbought on the short term, but who cares? The money printing goes faster than those overbought situations, so you have to be in this market. Egon, let's finish the session today with 3 questions from the audience. The first one is, should I invest my pension money into gold? And if so, how? In Switzerland, you have a so-called Freizügigkeitskonto. I have translated this as a vested benefits account for people who want to take their pension money with them. Speciality of Switzerland, but in general, pension money into gold. What's your opinion?
Mashed potatoes or roasted potatoes for better aging. Does the way it's cooked?
These commercials, like, seriously, they think we're going to watch them?
Switzerland, but in general, pension money into gold. What's your opinion?
I've been advocating that for years, Jan. Remember,
And me.
pension funds have 3 major assets. That's stocks, bonds, and property. They are all bubble assets that at some point, starting this year, I'm sure, maybe will be in the first part of this year, those markets, stock markets especially, property market, are going to start declining rapidly. Pension funds will then not have the backing of their commitments through real assets, and therefore, anybody in any country who has the ability to shift part of the pension fund to physical gold, not paper gold, must do that. Because remember, most pension funds will never be paid out to the pensioners in coming years, because they will not be able to maintain the value enough for their commitments. So that's why it's so important to have physical gold. There are different rules in different countries, and we cannot go through that in detail. But just remember, whenever you can, change your pension fund asset as much as you can to physical gold. And if you can control it yourself, even better. Not possible in every country, but in some countries it is.
Second question,
So that's what I tell you. You got a 401k, and I'm screaming at my friend and whoever else, and the guy at the barbecue place, get the fuck out of it. People don't understand. Okay, I got a $500,000 401k. They don't get that it can go down. They think it just is going to go up, and it isn't. I was at the gym yesterday, and I saw stock market was down 1,000 points to 43,000, and then I saw Bitcoin down to 93,000. So they do go down. They don't just go up. And you're going to see a lot more stocks going down because, like I say, it's the foreigners, the people in the UK and Germany and China and Russia who have money in the US stock market because theirs is all bullshit, and they're going to sell it to get out of, they're going to want gold, and they're going to realize that I've got my assets in stock. I got to sell the stock and just get my money out and into gold. So that's the big catalyst for the markets crashing and the banks crashing is the outsiders will want their money pulled out of the bank. So this is all based on demand because they need their dollar crashing and they need money and they need gold. And that's what's going to happen. So the rich guys are going to pull a lot of, they got, there's like $36 trillion in our stock market from outside the country. Well, there goes our stock market. I mean, how much do you think's in the stock market? It's not a lot from the US. So take the 36 trillion out of it, and the market's at what? 5,000, which means it goes down. It doesn't just go up. So keep that in mind. The economy is not strong. We're in a recession. Why would stocks go up now? Stocks will not go up. And I'm starting to notice that yesterday at the club, most of the stocks were down. And then I looked at what stocks were up, and it was Coca-Cola, it was Procter and Gamble, it was, Heinz Ketchup, all the stocks that I talk about in my thesis, where I tell you in the thesis, when interest rates go up, you buy Coke and you buy Pepsi and you buy chocolate and ketchup because those are very cheap products that people must have, food. But nobody's buying a car now. Caterpillar's not doing it. You're not building, houses go down, cars. So all these products are getting hit. And that's what you must realize. You're in a recession. That means the stock market's going to go down. I mean, it has to. But gold will go to the moon because you're going to get out of stocks, and where you're going to go. And you're getting out of the bank. You're getting out of real estate trusts. Real estate's not, there's a point when it's okay, but now it's in a bubble. It's not. So you got to be careful with real estate as your answer. So other precious metals now, just gold and silver. It's called KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. I learned that at Hiram Walker. The VP said, just KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. And that's the story of life. Just buy gold and silver and don't fuck around with anything else.
What's the best strategy for the ratio trade when to shift between gold and silver? Of course, you have to have a very long time horizon because that might take decades. What's your opinion on that?
That's a very important question. And this is a ratio I look at every day. Because as long as that ratio is now nearer 90, where it is, just under 90, the run in precious metals hasn't started yet, in my view. This is just now high demand for gold because there are shortages around the world of gold, especially the companies that have issued, or institutions that have issued paper gold can't meet that demand. Silver is not taking part in this gold rally, and the real surge in precious metals will start when people start buying silver, and when that gold silver ratio comes down. So we said this now 89 something. It's in 2011. It went down to, the ratio went down to 30. And that was when gold was $1,900 and silver was $50. I think the next level where people should hold some silver. It's a fantastic opportunity. It's not wealth preservation to the same extent because it's very volatile, but there are also massive shortages of silver. There isn't enough silver around to satisfy investor demand, as well as, of course, industrial demand, solar panels, etc. That gold-silver ratio, as I said, when it comes down from 89 something now to 87 or below 87, and then below 80, and that's gold divided by silver. That's a gold-silver ratio. Then the move is going to start in silver, and silver will lead this run in precious metals to the upside, and silver will then increase in price at least twice as fast as gold. So that gold-silver ratio will come down. Myself, I have as a indicative level that 30 in the gold-silver ratio, which we saw in 2011. Maybe that's when it probably will stop and bounce for a while, and they could easily, go double almost from 30 to 50, but the historical average is 15, so we could easily see 15 over the next few years. And remember, the psychological initial target of gold is not is let's say 10,000 because it's a good round figure. And I said 25 years ago, we are going to reach 10,000. That's not, in my view, the limit, because this change in demand for gold and the shortage of gold will mean that it goes probably a lot higher. I don't like to talk about prices, but let us take just as an interesting psychological target, 10,000 gold. If the gold-silver ratio then goes down to 15, which is the historical ratio, that means silver price of $666. Some people don't like that number, but it's a real number, and so silver is likely to go up a lot faster than gold. But remember, it's a hell of a roller coaster ride. So don't hold too much silver. But I'd rather.
See, I don't understand, or I don't buy that last comment. I'm not sure 666. It's going to be based on the market. It's going to be based on demand, and $10,000 gold easily. That's conservative. Probably 2025. $600 silver is very, very conservative. I don't think you look at it as 15 to 1 and then people stop buying silver. And I don't see the roller coaster, because this is only in Comex is a roller coaster. The paper silver is the roller coaster. When you're buying physical, when you're buying this, it's 100. It's been 100 for a year. There's no roller coaster in it. The only roller coaster you would have in silver is if you stopped demand on it and people had a reason to sell it. That would be the only thing. But if you're getting out of the dollar to buy silver all over the world because your dollar's worth shit, it's not going to stop at 666. It's going to go up to 1,000 or 2,000, because I got to get out of my dollar, and the gold's 10,000, so I can't buy too much of it. And then I got the dollars that I need to buy, so I'm going to buy silver to get off the Titanic, to get onto the lifeboat. So you can't say it's going to be 15 to 1. It's 85 to 1 now, only because Comex is still controlling the fucking price with their stupid derivatives. So as long as they're the ones price fixing it, that's why you have such a large thing. So it ain't going anywhere till we fix and blow up Comex. And once you see gold, the silver going 35, 40, then you've blown it up, because people need, and the demand is huge for physical silver, and they're not, they're still doing the paper bullshit, because it's not tier 1 and it's not Basel 3. So until that happens, but are anybody going to listen to Comex when the Shanghai and the Russian exchange start becoming physical, and they're going to go, I need silver, and they're 25,000 tons short. Well, as that starts happening, the demand, and then as the people want it for the lifeboat, again, gold's too cheap to start running into silver yet. But when gold goes 5 to 10,000, silver starts making its move because gold's not affordable. And I don't know that it's 15. No, it might be even money. Silver might be more until silver gets up to $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 an ounce. Then what are you going to do? Gold will be 25,000. Silver will be 5. You got to get out of your dollars if you haven't gone out yet. Most people are probably out of the dollars, and now it's gold and silver time. But how many you got? Every fucking country in the world sitting there with with their dollar, the euro, the British, the Swiss. What are they going to? They're going to. So it's just a massive amount. Even the Indians and the Chinese are still not well, we see the Chinese are all lining up to buy gold. But as people keep working, they're going to be buying silver because they don't want to hold money. That's just going to keep happening and happening and happening. So that's really what the point of it is. I don't see it being volatile, and I certainly don't see it at a certain 15 to 1, 20 to 1, 10 to 1 ratio. It'll just go. As it starts running, and as people see it break 50 and go to 100, you're going to see this huge snowball effect into silver like you've never seen before, because now it's $100 an ounce. Now it's $200 an ounce. Now people realize they've been lied to. $50 as the all-time high is the all-time paper high. And now you're going to be buying physical, not paper, and that's going to really shoot it up, and it won't be volatile. And I don't know that it'll be a specific 20 to 1, 15 to 1, 10 to 1, and the historic value is all paper anyway. So I don't know what he's talking about. What was it in the Roman time? How many ounces of silver bought an ounce of gold in Rome? And then that's what we can use. So that's where we're at. All right, question number 3.
Gold, silver, if you want to make money, than Bitcoin, which I don't trust, and is not a wealth preservation asset, and it's too volatile. So silver is much more interesting if you want a little bit of more speculative investment, still in real precious metals that you can touch and take delivery of course, which you must do. And so that's how I see the gold-silver ratio, and so silver is likely to go up a lot faster than gold. But remember, it's a hell of a roller coaster ride. So don't hold too much silver. But I'd rather hold silver if you want to make money than Bitcoin, which I don't trust, and is not a wealth preservation asset, and it's too volatile. So silver is much more interesting if you want a little bit of more speculative investment, still in real precious metals that you can touch and take delivery of course, which you must do. And so that's how I see the gold-silver ratio, and I see silver is now a very good, more speculative investment than gold, but still with the upside potential that we see, it's a real opportunity now to own silver.
I obviously agree, Egon. What else should I say? And a final question. What legal considerations should I keep in mind for storing gold and silver?
This is, of course, what we have been advocating for the last 25 years. Only buy physical, not paper, gold or silver. Have physical possession of it. Don't store it in the bank. The banking system will come under pressure, and why should you take the risk of holding it there? People will say, yes, of course, but it's my gold or silver is segregated. Well, when the banking system comes under pressure, it'll be a real mess in the market, and then they will not know what is your gold and what's the bank's gold, and therefore keep it outside the banking system. In private vaults, Switzerland has some of the best vaults in the world, so also vaults in Singapore. We have vaults in both places, and I would recommend to investors to buy physical, hold it in their own name with direct access to the gold or the silver, so they can actually inspect it, but then in safe jurisdictions and in the safest vaults in the world. But if you hold it within the financial system, then the risk is that you might not get it back, or it'll take years and years before the liquidators or people who try to sort out the mess of collapse of the financial system. That will take a long time before they will be able to identify whose gold or silver is it. And in the meantime, your assets will be blocked. Therefore, hold it under your own control. So important, and especially in the times that we are going to see now. Yeah.
Absolutely, Egon. That was the fine.
So there you go. You asked me, Prophet, about where do I store it? Safety deposit box in the bank, and there was the answer: no, because you'll never get it out, and that's what I told you. So you want to, those bars are very small. You can easily put them in your safe and just disguise your safe, like for a few dollars more, where it's actually, it looks like a carpenter's little whiskey, where you would hold alcohol or something. Something like that. But I think it's pretty safe in your house in a safe if you're in a decent neighborhood and you're not worried about that. Otherwise, you can put it in a storage in a safe, and you're the only one with the key, like Storage Wars, and then it's locked up in a safe. But you want to take it and you want to put it there. You can go to Switzerland if you think so, and let Egon hold it. It'll be safe there. If you want to sell it, he'll buy it from you. So it's very liquid. But you don't want to put it in a safety deposit box or in a bank. That's the last thing you want to do with anything that you own, is put it in a safety deposit box in a bank. You'll never get it out because they'll shut down, and then you'll go, well, wait, I got my Joe Montana rookie card in your safety deposit box. Too bad. It's closed. You can't get it. Maybe in 5 years we'll give it to you. That's why you want to keep it like anything else. You want it in your storage and that you can touch and feel. That's why I can touch and feel it. It's mine. That's what I got against Bitcoin. You can't touch and feel it. You don't even know if Bitcoin's real. You can't touch it. You certainly can't assume there's 21 million. I know there's 99 of the Berry card because it says 99. Show me where it says 21 million Bitcoin, and show me how many Bitcoin are out there. And even show me a Bitcoin, because you can't show me any of that. It's not real. So you want to fuck around with the 100,000, or you want your 100,000 in a gold bar. What would you rather have? And Bitcoin is not worth anything. So that's what you must understand about Bitcoin. It's not even real, because you can't even see it or touch it or feel it or hold it or put it in your safe. And if you can't do that, it's not real. And then one day it'll be worth zero. And what's Trump doing? What are these, I'll take crypto. What grocery store, what hotel, what airline do you know that takes crypto? You want to go to Italy, you're going to fly, United. Well, I got crypto. Sorry, I need cash. I don't see any grocery store or any hotel or any restaurant taking crypto. My barbecue place does not take crypto. So my point is, they don't take crypto. Why would you think that it has a value? It's certainly not money, because money would be taken. Like I said, I can give the guy an ounce of silver at my barbecue place. He'll take it because he recognizes it as, at least $32, if not $35 now. So if I get a $30 dish, but keep in mind, everything priced is priced in monopoly money. So all the food and all the clothes and all your house and your car is priced in this, which is worthless. Don't be surprised. Your 401k is priced in this. It's worthless. Understand that this is worthless. Oh, Howard, how can it be worthless? Well, I used to hear because it was the petrodollar, but it isn't anymore. And that doesn't make it worth anything, because you printed too much. That's why everybody's running and buying gold and silver, because they realize it's worthless, and it's being propped up by the government printing the bullshit money, and they're putting it in the stock market. And that's where the government, these Pelosi's are making money, because they're sitting there going, oh, you're going to put it in Apple? Oh, I'll go buy Apple. Oh, I made 95% on my investment. How did you not make 100%? How did you not, what stock did you miss here? And that's the problem. So they're printing it and putting it right into the market and saying, look, the stock market's 44,000. And if you believe the stock market's really 44,000, again, I have oceanfront property for you in Detroit. I'm not sure which ocean it is, but it's all make believe. So that's Egon. I saw that yesterday after class. Mark McGuire, I showed you Friday, I believe. And then Alligator. This is a new alligator that I saw today. And it's the same stuff he talked about on the other. Can Comex deliver the gold as demand soars? They don't have it. I don't understand why everybody asks the same question. Comex does not have the gold. So I'm not quite sure why everybody has to ask the question to get their video on TV or whatever. So if you want to watch Mark McGuire, there you go. There's one here on healing cavities I was watching. It's the same thing. Sugar rots your teeth. So I use Crest mouthwash twice, in the morning and in the evening. My teeth are fine because I keep cleaning them. They're supposedly teeth are bones, so they will heal if you don't rot them out. Germans are furious over this, something about the elites or that. Let's see. Anyway, that's about it. So, profit. A lot of businesses do take Bitcoin now for online payments. Okay, maybe that's Canada, not here. I don't know. What kind of businesses? But I don't see that because I don't do a lot of online stuff. I go to the grocery store, I go to the mall, I go to the restaurants. I don't see them taking Bitcoin or crypto. Crypto is just a Ponzi scheme. So I wouldn't take Bitcoin. I can't because I don't have the wallet or the key or any of those. I would never take Bitcoin for Teaserking. I would never sell my gold or silver for Bitcoin. So I don't know, but I don't shop online. I don't know if Amazon takes it, but I don't know how they value it. Well, it was 100,000. Now it's 90,000. Well, what are you valuing it at? And I assume you can take a fraction of a Bitcoin. Here's $10,000 worth of a Bitcoin, but crypto's not real. So don't get caught into believing the Ponzi scheme. Just like Madoff was not real. So if you think it is, you don't want to go there. Just like your 401k is going to go down and you're going to lose a lot of money. So don't like pretend that no, it's just going to keep going up. Or like Bitcoin's going to keep going. Why would Bitcoin keep going up? So people are getting out of the dollar going into Bitcoin instead of gold. Well, you can see what's happening. They're starting to go into gold, and I would assume they'll start selling their Bitcoin. They'll realize, oh, it's at 95,000, it's pretty high. I probably should sell some and get into gold and silver. I told my friend that. She said, oh, I bought Bitcoin at 65, and it was 125, but now it's 95, which is my point. I said, take your profit and buy gold and silver. It's about to go up, and it's real money. And that's what you got to realize. Online sports books for sure. Well, we'll see how long online sports books do. I don't know why they would. If I go to the casino, so I go to MGM Grand downtown Detroit. I'll have to see if they take it. I haven't been there in a while. I don't think my gold store does. I think they want now. They're still taking monopoly money, so I don't know what to think there. But I don't know that you're not going to get me to buy Bitcoin, to own it, to sell it on these online sports books. I'm sure that's just to get out of taxes or whatever, because it's all mafia. So I would think that might be, but you let me know when you go travel. When you fly to Tampa, you tell me what airline will take crypto, because I don't think any of them will. When you're in Tampa, you're in Canada, try to take something there. Try to I don't go. You can probably go get a pizza. It seems to be pizza places are scammers, but try to go to what is it? Honest Ads in Toronto. Try to go there on Bloor Street and see how often you can use crypto. But I know the Canadian dollar is in big trouble. It's collapsed, so I could see them taking anything but the Canadian dollar. So be careful there. But gold and silver are king, and you're going to be fine there. Do you live in Toronto or Montreal, or where do you live, Prophet? And how easy is it for you to go and live in Florida? You Canadians always seem to go to Florida for some reason. I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to go to Detroit because it's still cold here. But we will see. You live in Montreal. Okay. So there's a few other Montreal people I get. It's a kid from Ottawa and a couple other, I think Montreal, Ottawa people. I don't think I have a Toronto student, but that's good. Florida is only a 3-hour flight. Yeah, it's 2.5 for me here. No, I understand. I get it. But I don't know that. Well, I guess you want the warm weather. I mean, that makes sense. Because I know a lot of people from Canada go to Florida. Their second home. Anyway, so that's good. So Montreal, I had cousins who lived in Montreal. My uncle he's from Toronto, moved to Montreal. He was an engineer to work in the space program with rockets and stuff. And then he eventually retired and moved to Woodstock, which is between Toronto and London. And then he just passed a few years ago. And my cousins live in Woodstock, I believe. But anyway, that's fine. It's it's a nice country, but it's all fucked up now with Trudeau and all the socialism. It finally caught up to you, the socialized medicine, which I had an uncle who died. He needed he had kidney failure. He needed the dialysis. And I said, well, it's free. Your medicine's free. Well, who cares? He says, it's not free. And there's a long waiting list, and it's very expensive to get the dialysis. And it opened my eyes going, oh, I thought it was free medicine. Oh, it's only if you got a cold or it's a regular doctor visit is it free. But if you need you broke your leg or you need an operation, it is not free, and it takes a long time. So I fail to understand your healthcare. Here it's expensive, but I very rarely use it. I don't take it because I use Celtic salt and cayenne pepper and ginger. Like here, this is ginger, cinnamon, and lemon in here, and I'm very, very healthy. Knock on wood. Daria's problem is her teeth. So I don't know. She's had bad teeth. So she must have had some cavity filled or a wisdom tooth come in. And I don't know, but during the procedure, how it got pushed up into her is beyond me, and how she didn't recognize it, or the dentist didn't recognize it. And now that she actually needs surgery to get it out, as opposed to a dentist going in and pulling it out, seems kind of weird. You would think a dentist could do that, but again, we're dealing with Russia, so I'm not sure. But so she needs that done. So we will figure that out and help her. But that's where she's at. So Ukraine, it's the same. Most of it's free healthcare, although they're all poorer than shit. But that's what they got. But if I could, I would have moved to Odessa if there was no war and all this craziness. Very nice city, Black Sea, and a lot of nice restaurants there. But we'll see. So really, I don't know where I'm moving. It's up to Daria where we're going to go, but we'll see. Although I always like Amsterdam. It's always, you can walk around and it's a nice city. At least it was. I mean, I haven't been there in a few years. What else? So always understand why. Why am I buying gold and silver? You got to understand it because the dollar. Well, why is the dollar collapsing? Because these idiots keep expanding government and it costs more money to have I was watching 24 and they went from the DOD and then they were at CTU and then Homeland Security is taking over CTU. So again, you're expanding government and you got to pay all the people and give them a pension. And then you need all the weapons and helicopters and everything to do your job and all the computers. And you got to pay Chloe. So it becomes another expense to have a new department because you're still paying the others. And eventually, where do you get the money from it? And again, they're not revenue producers. When Jack goes out and gets the bad guy, there's no revenue made. So as you expand the government and the military and the DOD and you build more Tomahawk missiles and you need some more Navy ships, costs money. You don't have income for that money. There's no revenue being made. It's not a business. And it's just somehow it's so convoluted that, well, we got to keep spending, but where do we get the money from? We'll just keep taxing the people, but you can't, especially when the economy turns into a recession and people aren't working, they're not making money to put into the tax pool, but your expenses haven't gone away. When I lose my job, I cut back on some of my expense. Mostly it's a little bit of food. Otherwise, I don't, I won't go on a vacation now or something, but generally it's my, whatever expense, if it was summer out, I might not go golfing because I'm not working or something like that. But generally I got to eat, I got to pay utilities, I got to pay rent, all that stuff. That's why I bought gold and silver. So your retirement is the gold and silver. This is one thing I listened to this retirement planning just to kind of laugh at it. And I go, they'll say buy stocks, just like this woman who's trying to Ponzi scheme me with buying the stocks and name stocks that you bought. And I go, fuck off. I'm not into stocks. I'm into gold and silver. But I keep asking her, are you a Keynesian? She won't answer the question because she doesn't know. You got to be very careful. But that's the problem. Your retirement cannot be stocks getting dividends. It's got to be gold and silver because the stocks, what do you do if you got 500,000 in stocks and that's my retirement and now you got 300,000 in stocks? What are you going to do? You've just lost 200,000. You're getting less interest and everything else. Now it's 100,000. Now what do you do? How panicked are you? Oh, it can't keep going down. Oh, yes, it can. And then gold just keeps going up. So gold really is, it's not even, they'll say, well, you don't get interest or dividends. Yeah, but I get 100. I go from 2,800 to 2,900. I just made $6,000. And I don't care about the dividends. If the price moves and the price is going to 10 grand to 20 grand, and then you're not even going to have the dollar. So when this goes out, what's my retirement when this goes out? Well, my stocks won't be worth anything. So my interest won't be worth anything. Everything will be very expensive priced in this. So how the fuck do I retire with stocks earning 3% dividends? What are you kidding me? How about gold, Mr. Retirement Guy? Oh, no, gold doesn't move. You don't want, no, you want to be in the market because I don't get commission if you're in gold. And that's what it all comes down to. That's the bottom line, Mr. Stone Cold. We want your commission. That's why we're talking to you. And that's why you can't talk to these people. You've got to understand it. And that's what I'm teaching you. If you have gold and silver, you don't need life insurance. You don't need retirement. That is it. And it's about to go to the moon. That's your retirement. You're fine, Prophet. You got the gold bars. You've retired. You can retire tomorrow or as soon as you get the gold bars. As soon as you get married and get the gold bars, you're done working. You don't need to work. And then once July 1st hits, they've just doubled or tripled in value. So you're fine. You shouldn't. You're done working. You've been very fortunate. But I wouldn't listen to the guy about turn them into cash. You'd have to ask them, why would I turn them into cash? They're in gold. They're in the best thing I could be in is gold. So that's where you're at. Do you think Trump's allegorical power play will work? What do you mean with Putin, with the Middle East? Give me a little more detail on that. Allegorical. That's a college word. I don't know if I can handle that. Allegorical. Yeah, it depends where. I mean, I think if you're just talking overall with Musk and then all these appointees he's brought in and he's shining the light going, you stole from us. Yeah, I think that'll work to a point. As far as Trump becoming the next king, no, he's not going to be a king. He's already almost 80 years old, so he's not a king. The reason kings and, okay, I know Canada follows the Queen Elizabeth. You follow England, so does Australia, New Zealand. They're all British. And the reason there was a king and a queen, Queen Elizabeth, and that is basically you had a dictator. But instead of having a dictator, you called it a king or queen. And that's the difference. You're trying to rule like the Romans tried to rule a republic where we had consuls be the president and then the Senate would help out and help the people. But the British and a lot of these empires wanted a dictator, but they called them kings and queens, and they basically would control things. But there is no good way to run government because you're going to spend, but where do you get the money to spend? This is the problem with government. There is no revenue coming in, and you have expense. And as you know, if you're not working and you go spend $5,000, where are you getting the money to spend it? And that's the problem. So you've got to be very careful. Some of them were good with gold. Napoleon and the French and the English and the Romans, they had gold, so they were okay with it. And I think they took gold. The Romans, I think when they captured a country like Greece or Egypt or whatever, and they took over, I think took their gold and silver and took their assets. I think that's how Rome grew. But now you can't. So like the U.S. is trying to take Ukraine's assets. We want your minerals. Well, Russia has them. You're not getting them. But we want your oil. We want your minerals, your precious minerals, whatever. And Zelensky doesn't know. I can't sell them to you. You don't even have them. Russia's got them. So I think that's what Trump's trying to do from be a business. I need revenue to spend. We all need revenue coming in to go eat, right? And that's why people are selling their gold because that is an asset to do it. I don't think Trump will become a king. I mean, it's 4 years, and then he's done. And then who knows what George Soros will allow. George Soros, if anybody is the king, it's George Soros, right? He's been the dictator behind with Obama for 3 terms, twice, and then the Biden one and Clinton. So it was all Soros, and Soros is taking over the country with his political, the judges, the DAs are all corrupt. They're all socialists who don't want to put the people away who commit crimes, which is insanity. So if anybody's been a king, it's been George Soros doing it behind the scenes. And that's one thing. But keep in mind, I don't think Trump is the king. At the end of the day, I think Soros is. Again, there is no way to run a government. A government needs to be, you need revenue, and it can't be taxes. Taxes are not revenue. You're going to people saying, give me 20% of what you earn, and I'm going to then spend it. But the problem is it just gets into their bank. They steal the money, and then they give you a little back. Well, we'll give you Social Security. Yeah, I know it's like 1/10 of what you made, but we'll give it to you. And I think that's the problem. Where did my thing go? So, will he be a king? I don't think so, but we all like what he's doing, and that he's finding all this bullshit where they're the lobbyist. He needs to get rid of the lobbyist, and then he needs to get rid of all the corruption, which I think is what he's trying to do, drain the swamp. I don't know what he's doing with the gold, even if the gold is there, which we know it isn't. I don't know what he's going to do with it. He'll revalue it. Well, the market revalues it, not him. So I don't really know but he's got to find assets, oil. He's got to get oil going. But if he creates too much oil, he's going to lower the price, because now you're flooding the market with oil, lowers the price, doesn't raise it. Again, you've got to get this balance. So if you flood the market with oil, it makes the price drop because there's too much of it. Just like gold, right? You've flooded the market with paper gold, and the price is down here, even though the demand's here. Well, if you do the same with oil, and you start drilling all these oil wells to try to use oil as a way to make money, the price will drop. So he's in a quandary where he's saying, well, I won't do income tax because I heard he wants to get rid of the IRS, which is fine with me. I'm waiting to do my tax return until we get clearance on that. If there's no IRS, there's no tax returns. Who are you paying? So that would be wonderful to not have to pay income tax to that. And that's why he's going to tariffs. So let the countries pay the tax instead of the individuals. Now, that's a good thing for us, but you've got to have sound money. It all comes down to sound money. If the money sucks, it doesn't matter what you do. You're fucked. If he makes sound money, then you're okay. So I don't think he'll be a king. He is being aggressive, and he's doing a lot of executive orders. I don't know why he shows them. Look, I did an look, I signed something that you don't know what I signed. And, here it is. That'd be like me going, look, here it is. I did my homework. It's just funny what he's doing. But that's really what you've got to really understand is that because he's a businessman, he realizes he has no revenue. And that's what he's trying to do with the gold from Fort Knox, from the tariffs, not taxing you. You get far more revenue by not taxing us than you do taxing us, because even if you taxed everybody at 100%, you wouldn't get as much revenue if you taxed us at 0. We went out and spent, and then you tax the sales tax. You'd get more money from that than you would trying to get us at 100% income tax, because nobody would work, and we'd all move to other countries where they don't tax you at 100%. So we'd all be in Europe or Puerto Rico or something like that. We wouldn't be here. So that's really the point of it. That's why you can't tax at 100%. And then he's smart enough to realize, well, wait, if I do tariffs, then people can make more money, keep it, and then spend it, and that'll be how we get out of this. So I think that's what he's trying to do. And we'll see if that would work better, but you got to be careful with the tariffs. They can't kill the food, and they can't kill like in 1929. Tariffs might have been too high, and that might have just been one case, because we did tariffs in the 1790s when we sold cotton to Britain. We did tariff them, and it worked fine. And most of the 1800s was done with tariffs, and it was fine. Just 1929, but you had Keynes and FDR. FDR, a terrible president. Even though he was popular, it was terrible from a finance standpoint. So you have that. So I think he realizes, and that's really the only thing, and that's the problem with government. It's got to be run like a business. How do I get revenue? And I spend way too much. You have all this excess government that you have, which is what I think he's trying to cut costs. So he says, I got to reduce government, which is exactly what he's got to do. But how do you do it? It's way too big, and it costs way too much. So it's like you're making $5,000 and you're living in a house and you got a $10,000 a month a mortgage, but you only make $5,000. Well, you got to move out of the house, and you got to find a house where you only spend maybe $3,000. And that's the problem. So he's trying to spend $10,000 and he's only got 5,000 in. And that's what he's doing with the government. It's way too big. He doesn't have the revenue to cover it all. So how do you do it? This is why governments very rarely work. The Romans, because they kept expanding and taking the gold and the wheat and the corn, like they would get food from Egypt. So that would be an expense he doesn't have to do. Or he'd get money from Germany or France. They took France over. So all this, as he took you over, he would get the wealth in it. That's why the Roman Empire was smart enough, realizing, well, if we're going to bring you in, it's going to be more spending. But if we get your gold and your wheat and your corn, then we get revenue in for it. So they actually were getting revenue in. Marcus Aurelius, of course. But most of the governments, it's all spend. There's no revenue. And, we'll tax the people. Who came up with that idea is a moron. You can't tax the people to get enough money to spend. So governments have to balance their budget, and they have to get the money not from the people on taxes. You've got to get the money selling oil, or selling gold, or just selling intellectual property, or whatever it is what product you have that you can sell is what you should be selling. But they're all individual businesses. The government doesn't make electric batteries or computers or any IT stuff. That's all done by Microsoft and Intel and these companies. So you don't really own them. So you could maybe tax the company, but the companies never pay tax. They lay off their people, or they pay their people less, is what happens. That's how companies work. They never pay taxes. They lay you off, or they raise the price, but they never pay tax. Does Trump even care about the huge deficit? Absolutely. He's got to care about it. He's also got to care about the debt, which I think hit 37 trillion. That's what he's doing with tariffs. That's why he's trying to eliminate the income tax and the IRS. That's why he's trying to cut costs, and he's seeing all the government fraud with the U.S. aid to Ukraine. He's seeing all that's what he's doing. He's saying, how do I pay off the $37 trillion debt? That's what he's doing. And he's seeing it as, well, the best way to do it is to cut the waste out. I got to cut spending, right? So you're in your house and you got $5,000 a month in revenue, and you got $10,000 in expense. You can't keep it going. So eventually you got to cut it off. And that's what he's doing, I believe. So yes, I believe he's aware of it. He's a businessman. I don't like his finance guy because he's George Soros's guy. That bothers me greatly. That Judy woman, I don't know. Supposedly she's a gold person, but I don't get this T-bills, gold-backed T-bills. I don't know what that is. That's to get money in, but you still need to balance your budget and figure out a way to pay off the debt. And the only way you can do it is with gold. You need to get gold. You've been keeping the price down, but you're telling me you're too stupid to be buying the gold at this cheap price. As we've talked about $32 silver, are you not buying silver at $32 and then let the fucking price go instead of keep doing these derivatives? So if they would just buy a bunch of silver and let the price run to $1,000 an ounce, you pay off your debt. But for some reason, they're too stupid to do it. And then they keep trying to print money into the stock market. But the problem is it goes to Nancy Pelosi and Biden and all those, not into the government, not into the country, but it goes into the senators and congressmen and those people, and they keep it. It doesn't go, it doesn't pay off the debt. So, how do you run the government as a business is a good question. How do you generate revenue as a government? That's the question. And to do it by taxes is not, that's bullshit. You shouldn't be doing roads. You shouldn't be doing school. You should be doing laws and live by the Constitution, gold back currency. How about small military to defend your borders, not to be in every fucking country in the world? No, I think we're there to try to get oil and trust or try to steal money. Maybe that's what they're doing there. I don't know, but you'd be much better off getting away from there, letting the free market. If you would just use Austrian economics and let the free market run, you'd be fine. But they're too stupid to do that. So really, that's the problem. It's how do I cut the expense? And you can't. And how do I raise revenue? What can I sell? Maybe you can sell oil or gas to to Germany or something. That's as far as I can see. What are your assets? Oil, natural gas. I don't know if you have any gold or silver. Not in your Fort Knox anyway. And then what else can we sell? Intellectual property, whatever Microsoft makes, Intel, I don't know. Military, you're trying to sell your military. Okay, sell it. But it doesn't go to them. It goes to the defense contractors. So the defense contractors makes the money. General Dynamics sells the tanks and the planes and the guns, not the U.S., not the government. Now, maybe you tax but you can't tax the defense contractors too much. They stop making it, they go out of business. So you need a way of taxing them or having them give you part of the revenue. But by that, they make it. So the companies who sell all this stuff make the money, not the government. And again, the government doesn't have anything to get revenue with. Even oil and gas is going to go to the oil. Is it going to Shell Oil or pick an oil company? It's going to go there, not to you. So the government's really fucked. It needs ways of collecting revenue. How they're going to pay the debt, they have no way of doing it. It can't be paid. So does he care about the deficit? I'm sure he does, because he looks bad. I'm Donald Trump. I save the debt. I save the deficit. But it's just fucked. And I think that's why Biden didn't do anything and Obama didn't do anything. They just said, there's nothing I can do. And I'm going to talk, and I'm here for 4 years and then goodbye. So that's why they kicked the can down the road, is they said, well, I'm only here for 4 years. I don't care, which is what happened. Theoretically, they should serve one term and get the fuck out. All of them, all of the senators, congressmen should be one term, maybe 4 years, 6 years, and you're gone. That way there's no re-election and you're not paying the lobbyists all this money because you're just there one term. And then it's not like Biden, who worked there for 50 years, or Pelosi. What is that? These people should not be in power, and then they're collecting all the money from the lobbyists. So the corruption starts with the multiple terms. But again, where do you get revenue if you're a government? And you can't. I mean, it's just, it's crazy. But you want to spend, you're spending trillions of dollars with no revenue. What are you, insane? You think that's going to keep working? You think, how can this dollar survive you printing all these dollars to pay the government without any revenue? So it's just print, print, print. You never have anything. And then I heard, oh, Social Security is going to go broke in 5 years or something. It's already broke. Where the fuck are you getting the money? Well, we're printing it. Well, you can't just print money. Only the Keynesians think, well, I know I'm not getting revenue in and I know I keep spending, but you know what? I'll just keep printing the money. That'll pay for things. No, if you keep printing, it'll go to zero. And that's what's happening. That's why everybody's running to buy gold, because we all know the Keynesians are full of shit, all us Austrians, because you can't print and print and print. It loses the value to zero. Most Americans don't understand that, I guess. They want to, hey, my money's in Bitcoin, my money's in the stock market. God, we know it's, my 401k is fine. It's 500,000. It'll never go down. How can it go down? Because the money's worthless. So I don't know why that's such a hard concept to think that people are stupid enough to believe that you cannot keep printing money and it won't lose value. These are extremely stupid, naive people. And again, they're just, well, my financial planner said I could, right? So again, on mine, I'll show you. I ask her directly. And I go, who are you people and what do you want with me? You're not in my league. And I say, are you Keynesians? And I say, she wants to be friends. Answer my question. Are you Keynesians? Because obviously you are. Whoever this is, the latest stock market analysis and hot stocks. And I basically told her to fuck off. I basically said, I don't care. I keep getting these Chinese girls. They keep contacting me like they know me. Oh, how's your week? Oh, I thought you were whatever. And that's what I hate about Telegram. It's all scams. Positive. I don't have too many friends on it. I use WhatsApp, but this is the problem. Who the fuck are you? What are you saying? Oh, we can be friends. You don't even know me. What do you mean? I don't. Who do we assume I want to be your friend? Are you a Keynesian? I don't want to be friends with Keynesians. They're too stupid to be friends with. So that's what you run into. Anyway, anything else before we go swimming? I think Chinese food today. I haven't had Chinese in a while, so I think I'm in that mood. And anyway, I think you get it. You buy the gold and silver because the dollar's going out and you can't print gold and silver and it's about to go through the moon and all Comex is about to blow up and Fort Knox has no gold or silver. And even if it does, it doesn't matter. Even if it has gold, it doesn't affect that the price is going to the moon. So keep that in mind. I don't think you'll see an audit because I don't think there's anything there to show you. You ask me, do I have a Joe Montana rookie card? And I say, yeah. And you go, show me. And I go, here. And then you go, oh, he does have it. But if you said, show me, and I don't feel comfortable showing, I'm full of crap. I don't have it. So I have to show you to prove it. Because I have to, if I'm called on it, I have to prove. Because if I'm saying I have it, I better. So there's no gold in Fort Knox because they won't show it. Egon says it. Mark McGuire says it. Alligator say. All the Europeans know it because they would say, I would have showed it. And anyway, so that's the big problem. But it doesn't matter. Gold's still going through the roof. If we have gold in your Fort Knox or we don't, buy the silver at 30, it's $32.50, which means you buy it for like $35. Buy. You can't lose because the price fixing is going away. Comex is blowing up because Comex is a paper system not made for physical trades, and everybody's coming wanting gold and silver. They want the physical, and Comex simply doesn't have it because it wasn't set up for it. It was set up to price fix, which it's done a very poor job of. A lot of Ponzi scheming and scamming going on, making Madoff look good. But we are onto the game, and we realize they don't. We realize it's price fixed, and we thank God for the BRICS countries who are going into gold and silver and buying it, exposing the Ponzi scheme of Comex, and that's really it. So that's why the price is going to the moon, and now the demand goes up, and there is very little supply, which forces the price up. So it's much as you can buy. You would not want to be in stocks. You certainly don't even know what a Bitcoin is, and careful in the banks before they don't allow you to have your money. You don't want to be in a safe deposit box at a bank, only a storage bin where you have the key and you can lock your stuff in there, or just buy a safe for the house, and depending on where you live. And that's really it. So have a nice day. Be safe. www.teaserking.com, and I have that. That's where you can find my email, like Prophet did, and he emailed me and told me about his gold discovery, and I'm happy for him. And he's a rich man, or he will be. And the last thing he wants to do is get out of the gold for dollars. I mean, you think of gold as the lifeboat. Why would you want to get back on the Titanic? You don't. So that's really the whole point of it. Anyway, you too, Prophet. Take care. Sure. And have your girlfriend, she can contact me. She can email me. She can call me if she wants. I don't mind as long as I know who's calling. But have her watch the last couple of shows. And, she doesn't have to watch the whole thing. Obviously, it's 2 hours. But, you watch 20, 30 minutes. I find that sometimes I find it and I watch it. I can't stop it. I make, because it's so smooth, and it makes a lot of sense that I tend to watch 2 hours of it, especially when I'm talking football and gold and bricks and Comex. When I'm really teaching well, I do explain it at a very good level that I even go, yeah, that was a good class, and it's me talking. So anybody wants that, that's fine. They can email me and ask questions. A lot of my football family do during football. And so that's good. All right. Well, have a good day. www.teaserking.com. That's my football one. And enjoy. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And again, be safe and enjoy. Go get Chinese or something go treat yourself to a nice dinner. All right. Take care, everybody.